Good afternoon and welcome to Pittsburgh City Council's public hearing for Wednesday, June 8th, 2022, relative to Bill 2022-0291. Would the clerk please read the bill?
Bill 291, resolution approving a conditional use application under the Pittsburgh Code Title 9, Zoning Article 4, Chapter 910, Section 910-01D1 to Meyer, Unkovich, and Scott on behalf of 306th Avenue Property, LLC, for the transfer of development rights involving 33 dwelling units from 130 to 160 Fifth Avenue and 5 dwelling units from 417 Wood Street, Zone GTA, Golden Triangle, Subdistrict A, to 306th Avenue, Zone GTA, Golden Triangle, Subdistrict A, First Ward, Council District 6.
Thank you. Our first order of business will be an introduction presentation by Kevin Kunek, hope I said that right, from the city's planning department, and then we'll have the representatives of the applicant, and then we'll have testimony from registered speakers. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Kunek from the Department of City Planning, and I'll be reading a summary of the hearing and action report that was presented to the Planning Commission. Application DCP ZDR 2022-00182 for 306th Avenue was filed for a project development plan. This address is located in the GTA, Golden Triangle Subdistrict A zoning district. The applicant seeks a project development plan approval for 216 residential dwelling units, exterior and interior alterations, use of the ground floor for retail sales and services, interior parking spaces, bicycle parking, and approximately 4,900 square feet of rooftop amenity space. For an additional 38 dwelling units, the applicant is seeking a conditional use application for the transfer of development rights. The applicant is proposing 2 transfer of development rights. The first is a transfer of 33 dwelling units from 130 to 160 Fifth Avenue, parcel 1D-150. The second is the transfer of 5 dwelling units from 417 Wood Street, parcel 1H-195. A virtual development activities meeting, a DAM, with the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership was held on February 10th, 2022. A copy of that DAM report is attached to council members' report. Notification of the proposed conditional use application was mailed to property owners within 150 feet of the proposed receiving location, posted on the city planning website, and posted on site at least 21 days in advance of this hearing date. Staff design review is not required for the proposed exterior alterations. There are no requests to the Zoning Board of Adjustment as part of this project. And the various statements of compliance per the different review criteria is also in your packet. There are 4 recommended motions to the Planning Commission. Recommended motion 1 was that the Planning Commission approve the project development plan for 216 residential dwelling units. Recommended motion 2 was for the conditional use application for the transfer of 33 dwelling units be recommended to City Council for approval. Recommended motion 3 was for the other transfer of development units for the 5 dwelling units be recommended to City Council for approval. And then the 4th recommended motion was that the Planning Commission approve the entire project development plan for the additional 38 additional dwelling units with the conditions that the applicant receive City Council approval for the transfer of development rights. Thank you.
We'll now move on to the representatives of the applicant. Just please provide your name for the record.
Thank you, Councilman Lavelle. Good afternoon. My name is Kevin McKeegan. I'm with the law firm of Meyer, Unkovich, and Scott. We represent 306th Avenue Property, LLC, the owner of the receiving property as described in these proceedings. With me today from Strata Architects is Nicole Harkins. Nicole is here to answer questions should any come up regarding the project details or the building itself. So, as Mr. Kunak indicated, this is a proceeding under Zoning Code Section 910-01D1, which allows, by way of a conditional use, the transfer of development rights between properties in the Golden Triangle zoning district. All of the properties involved are within the Golden Triangle district, so that provision of the code has been satisfied. I've given to Councilman Lavelle a paper presentation similar to what was given to the Planning Commission and to the Planning Department. I'm not going to belabor it, but just to make a few brief points and then to move on to the request itself. The receiving property here is known as 306th Avenue, or that's its address, but it's probably more familiar to folks as the former GNC headquarters building. It's located at the corner of 6th Avenue and Wood Street, catty corner from the Wood Street T station, and there still are on it a number of signs denoting the GNC headquarters. The building actually has a much longer history, however. It was originally erected in 1904 as a department store by Henry W. Oliver. It was subsequently altered in 1939 and then again in 1965. But since the 1990s has been used by GNC, who recently moved out. Our client acquired the property in October of 2021 for the purpose of adaptively rehabilitating and reusing the building for multifamily apartment purposes. So the package includes pictures of the building, pictures of its location. The one picture that I would like to make sure is drawn some attention to is of the facade along Wood Street. There's a Art Deco glass feature above the entrance to the building known as the Puddler, which is going to be restored as part of this project. As Mr. Kunak indicated, the project as a whole contemplates 253 dwelling units. By right, the applicant has the ability to create 216 units in the building. So these proceedings are for the additional 37 or 38 units. Our client was able to reach an understanding with Landmarks Development Corporation, who you may know is the developer of the Station Square project and other historic projects around the city of Pittsburgh, regarding the transfer of development rights from two of its properties it owns in downtown. I think it's fair to say that Landmarks was interested in this project because the adaptive reuse of this building is going to be done in a way that allows historic tax credits to be used in the building, and so it's going to be done in a very historic, complementary fashion. Landmarks is transferring to this property development rights from two of its properties. One is on Wood Street at 417 Wood Street. By code, that property could be used for up to 11 dwelling units. Landmarks is transferring rights to 5 of those units to 306th Avenue, so there would still be a possibility, should Landmarks so choose, to develop 6 dwelling units in that building. The other building from which units are going to be transferred is at 130-160 Fifth Avenue. This is a rather successful project by Landmarks leading into Market Square. There are 7 dwelling units in that building already. By code, up to 40 units could be developed there. So by transferring 33, Landmarks is giving up the right to have additional units there, but the 7 that are in place could obviously remain. So we would appreciate council's favorable treatment of this conditional use request. A favorable recommendation for this request was given by the Planning Commission, and we look forward to moving this project forward and are happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move on to testimony from registered speakers. Please give your name and neighborhood for the record. You'll be given 3 minutes to speak. I see one registered speaker with us online, Ms. Allison Keating.
Hi, yes, my name is Allison Keating. I live on the north side. I really just wanted to stress that we should not be here right now. This hearing should not be happening. This rule should not exist. So for folks at home, downtown housing is restricted to 1 unit per 110 square footage of the parcel. In our densest neighborhoods like Lawrenceville, Mexican War Street, South Side, it's 400 square feet. So what the rules are telling us is that downtown can only be like 3.7 times as dense in housing as our densest neighborhoods, which, you know, if you say that to anyone, they think that's insane. You know, like downtown is where residential high rises go. You know, and so I think that this project is great. It's a great reuse of this building, but you know, this rule really needs to be looked at. It's replicated in all of the sub-districts of downtown, and it is exactly why, you know, all the housing that we've seen downtown develop is, you know, quote, luxury housing. This is what people are upset about. This is also why having inclusionary zoning downtown is a complete non-starter, because it is so hard to do housing downtown already. So, you know, this is something that council really needs to address, and they need to address it sooner than later. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There being no further registered speakers with us, one question. What is the intent for the commercial space?
Right now, except for Key Bank, the commercial space is vacant. The client does intend to re-tenant the ground floor commercial space, but those plans are still in process. There's no tenants identified yet. And when the space is identified, it will be upgraded and brought up to current specifications.
Thank you. And I thank Ms. Keating for her comments. That's certainly something we can take under advisement and consideration. With that being said, we've exhausted the business of this public hearing, and so we are adjourned. Thank you.